What it do? It's your boy, Big Ood, back with another one. So my guy, Daemon, the freaking goat of the whole Boruto series, let me tell you, this guy is way more powerful than anybody thinks. I'm telling you, if I had my own tier list, Daemon's going top tier S, and then the next character right below him is going at a B, if not a C. And let me tell you why. So Daemon says, not only says, but proves that he's number one, and that compared to him, number 2 and 3 are irrelevant to him. And the word irrelevant matters so significantly here. So he's not saying he's stronger than or relevant to or anything like that to number 2 or 3. And the fact that he's ranking them at number 2 and 3 rather than tied with him equally strongest. No. Okay, so already he's at least one tier above just for being stronger, but then he's also massively stronger. So that's 2 tiers above. But not only is he massively stronger, but he's quite literally irrelevant to them. So he is at least 3 tiers of power stronger than any other character in this series. And the second strongest character people argue, they claim it to be Baryon mode Naruto, if not the weakened version of Ishiki. And so of course this is backed up with not only multiple statements but also actions. So statements include the fact that he's massively stronger than Jigen, which people try to use this to scale him to somewhere around Ishiki. In fact, maybe Ishiki can beat him, especially with this weakness. That's already been debunked based on what I was saying earlier. But not only that, let's actually break his weakness down here. So Bug says that it's whenever his palms touch something. Well, as you've already probably heard through other content creators, he could just touch his own palms, or his ability is just always active because his palms are always touching his own palms anyways. He doesn't have to close his fists or anything. But also, people are, oh man, this is really what grinds my gears. People are all over the community saying that this is Daemon's weakness. Daemon has a weakness. This is his weakness. We've been waiting for so long to hear his weakness. This is it. This isn't a weakness, okay? Let me throw an analogy out to you. What's the weakness of the Rasengan? Is its weakness just the fact that it's not always continuously on? So does that mean the weakness of the Rasengan was just the first 10, 13 years of Naruto's life before he developed it? No. We don't say that's a weakness because the ability just isn't being used. For it to be a weakness, the ability has to be in use at the time, and it has to be actively holding it back. For example, something that gives Kakashi a weakness is the fact that his Sharingan is always activated. So even when he's not using it, it's still using chakra, he's not able to turn it off. However, the Sharingan is inherently not a weakness, as obviously shown throughout the entirety of the rest of the Uchiha clan. So another thing I want to break down is, obviously you've probably heard this, but Bug is probably just not telling the truth. And you can take this in a couple different ways. First of all, you gotta look at it like this. Bug is not a reliable narrator. Why should we believe Bug's word? Some argue that, oh, he has prior knowledge of Daemon, why would he lie, etc, etc. Well, first of all, we see his inner thoughts. He doesn't think he's lying, he does think this is the truth, but he also wants Daemon and Co to just off each other right then and there. Which even then, Ada's still around, and Ada's powerful, so I don't know what he's thinking, he's just panicking if anything. So we're taking an illogical, irrational man at his word, some enemy that we don't even really know, that is obviously weak, and it doesn't make any sense at all. So not only is he an irreliable narrator, but we've been seeing consistently that his ability, how it works, and we've been seeing statements from at least 4 other characters that would be reliable narrators, at the very least above him, but also in general. So we have Amado, we have Ada, we have Daemon, and we have Code, all saying that this is not how Daemon's ability works, rather Bug is saying that it is. And some people point out the fact that Ada looks very upset at Bug for revealing this quote-unquote weakness, or this information to Code, but that's exactly what this is. This is information. And what does Ada's character consistently value? It's information. Not only that, but Bug was seemingly on her side. Bug was an ally to her. So the fact that Bug is all of a sudden seemingly just backstabbing Ada, of course she's gonna be upset. Let me ask you, if one of your friends just randomly backstabs you, are you going to look at them with a side eye? Alright, so let's break down Daemon's reflection ability. So it reflects the end result of the intent. So you could argue, okay, maybe Baryon mode would have a chance because Baryon's mode entire purpose is kind of like Ultra Instinct, where the point of it is to not think. It's just superfluous movement. So if there's no intent, would it work? And we see that no, that's not the case because you don't have to be targeting Daemon for the ability to work. It just applies regardless. Also, it doesn't have to be negative intent, as Code has already tested it out by purposely putting claw marks onto Daemon and it just reflecting back onto Code even though there was no negative intent there on purpose. Finally, we see Kawaki charge an attack that is meant for Code, and Code pulls out a sleeping Daemon. So Daemon, while he's sleeping, still has this ability constantly and in a continuous aura activated around him, in a sense that any damage, regardless of intent, is going to be automatically reflected. That means collateral damage would be reflected as well. So if the Ten Tails shot a Biju bomb at Konoha right now, for whatever reason, Code just summons the Biju there, then the Biju bomb is just gonna attack the Biju itself because Daemon would have been caught up in that collateral blast. Or let's say Kawaki just randomly throws a kunai straight up in the air and then Code has claw marks up there and then teleports Daemon there. So then Daemon would have been affected even though the kunai wasn't even meant for anyone. It's just throwing it straight up in the air randomly. That means Kawaki, with no intent, his attack would have still been reflected. So it doesn't have anything to do with negative intent or intent. It does have to do with intent, but also with the attack itself. So it's a multi-layered ability. But this also differentiates itself from other abilities that do reflect, such as the Yadamir, because first of all, it's not a physical thing. Second of all, you can't get around the ability. Third of all, it's not, again, not a tangible thing, so it's conceptual, and conceptual abilities automatically scale higher than basically reality itself. It's basically the logic and laws of reality just don't apply to Daemon, which scales him above reality. Daemon literally scales above the entirety of the Naruto verse, just based off of conceptual ability alone. Not only that, but Daemon himself just scales higher than any other character. We see him just completely outscale Code. It's honestly hilarious, the laughable beatdown he gets. Man, I love Code's character. I'm not even gonna hold you. Hopefully we can come back with a part 2, get this video to 1,000 likes, and we'll break down Code's character and why he's greater than everyone thinks. But I tell ya, I forgot how much I loved Code because of how much I absolutely adore Daemon in that fight. I literally forgot how good of a character Code is because Daemon just stole the show. Every time he's on screen, he steals the show. He's by far my favorite character. He's the most fun and just the best character to read in the story. I cannot wait to see more of Daemon and where we go from here, regardless of his quote-unquote retconned ability. Daemon is still massively stronger and faster than any other character in the series regardless.